All right, today we're looking at Mod 4, Lesson 25. And our objective is you're going to be able to divide a whole number by a fraction. And we haven't divided by fractions yet. So let's see what the standard says. The standard is actually NF27, which says apply and extend previously understands of division to divide unifractions by whole numbers and whole numbers by fractions. Okay, let's see how this goes. And we're going to apply this to a word problem also. Let's start with Jenny buys 2 pounds of pecans. If Jenny buys 2 pounds, if she puts 2 pounds in each bag, how many bags can she make? Well, let's start by labeling our tape diagram. We know this is 2 pounds of pecans. And I misspelled it. All right. Now, the way I'm going to do this to make it easier, it says, okay, if Jenny puts 2 pounds in each bag, well, I only have 2 pounds. So that means if I put in that bag, how many bags did Jenny have? She only had 1 bag. So we can see 2 pounds divided by 2 pounds in each bag equals 1 bag. All right. Now let's say she puts 1 pound in each bag instead of 2 pounds in each bag. Well, first thing I'm going to do, once again, 2 pounds of pecans. And she says, I'm going to put 1 pound in each. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to split it up into 2 pounds. Because this is 1 pound. And this is another pound. And I can see that if I put 1 pound in each bag, we're going to have 2 bags. So 2 pounds divided by 1 pound in each bag. So basically 2 divided by 1 equals 2 bags. Pretty easy so far. All right. Now we're going to the fractions, the unit fractions. Now we got 2 pounds. And it says I'm going to put a half a pound in each bag. But I'm going to start by splitting my tape diagram into pounds. Because this here would be 1 pound. And this would be 1 pound. Now she says that she's going to put a half a pound in each bag. So I'm going to split that pound into halves. And I can see I would have 1, 2, 3, 4 bags. So 2 bags, 2 pounds, divided by a quarter, or excuse me, a half in each bag equals 4 bags. Interesting. Let's try again. All right, so this time let's go ahead and put a 1/3 pound in each bag. So I'm starting off with 2 pounds of pecans. And I'm going to split that tape diagram into 2 pounds, each individual pound. And I'm doing that because it makes it easier. What's going on with my pen? Makes it easier for me to split them up into thirds. So now I got 1/3 pound in each bag, and I can see 2 pounds divided by 1/3 pound in each bag equals 6. Now, a lot of you probably seen a connection at this point as, well, I can go 2 times 3 to get 6. Same way when you had half bag, 2 times 2 is 4. Well, but the problem is we're dividing. We're not multiplying. Now, the reason that is a good pattern, but the reason it works is this right here. Because 3 is the opposite of 1/3. And 1/3 is the opposite of 3. So that is the reason you can say, well, 2 pounds, and I'm going to have 3 bags apiece. 3 bags in each pound would give me 6 bags. Okay? Or in the same way, if I said 2 pounds and I'm divided into a 1/3 pound in each bag, I get 6 bags. Notice, I get the same answer whether I'm multiplying by 3 or dividing by 1/3. Okay, but if you notice the whole number I'm multiplying by, the fraction I'm dividing by. So how does this work? Well, 2 divided by 1/3. Well, what we hear a lot of times on iWriting stuff, they call it flip, skip, flip, and multiply. So what they're saying is skip the first number, flip your fraction. So we're going to flip the 1/3 to 3/1. And then we're going to change the division sign to multiplication. And the reason we did that is because since 1/3 is the opposite of 3, when I change this 1/3 into 3, I have to change the operation because it was the opposite. Okay, it was the inverse operation. So now I end up with 2 times 3/1, which equals 6. So let's try this with the last one. Okay, now this time we're going to split it into quarter-pound bags. So here's our 2 pounds, and we're going to split it into 2 equal pounds. And each pound, I'm going to split into fourths. So we can see 2 pounds divided by quarters would equal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8ths. So it would be 8 bags. Now let's try this time. I know I'm dividing by a fraction. So I'm going to flip my fraction to its inverse. Since I'm flipping it to its inverse, I have to change to multiplication. And I end up with 8/1, which equals 8 bags. All right, let's try a new problem with what we learned. Okay, it says this time he has 5 feet. He has a board which is 5 feet long, and he wants to cut them into 1/4-foot lengths. So once again, this time I'm going to split it into 5 feet, 5 different feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now each one of these feet I'm going to split into quarters because they don't want to be 1/4-foot long. So there's a half and a quarter. There's half, and splitting the halves into quarters. There's half and into quarters. Half into quarters. Half and into quarters. So we can see we have 5 divided by 1/4-foot lengths, and if I count them up, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So we end up with 20 pieces of boards. Now let's try this number-wise. I have 5 feet. I'm dividing it by 1/4. So I'm going to use inverse of a whole number, which is 4. Since I'm changing it to its inverse, I need to change the operation to the opposite one also. So 5 times 4 gives me 20 boards. So the key to this is that you're inverting the fraction. So that means you have to change the operation to the inverse. Okay, so let's wrap it up. So I'm going to give a different problem. We're just going to talk through it. So if I had 3 wholes and I wanted to divide that by thirds, if I drew a tape diagram, I could just split the whole numbers up, and then each whole number I could split up into thirds. If I added it up, I can see that we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 3 divided by 1/3 would equal 9. Now, to explain it this way, we have 3 wholes. I want to use, since I'm dividing by a fraction, I'm going to change that fraction to its inverse, which would be 3. But since I swap into the inverse, its opposite, I have to go with the opposite operation, which is multiplication. And that would give me 9. Okay? Well, I hope this made sense to you, and we'll see you in class.